Have you ever had one of those days where you feel like your energy is fading faster than you'd like? Or maybe you've noticed that it's getting harder to keep up with your grandkids or bounce back from a long day. It's honestly something most of us deal with as we age, but here's the shocker: you don't have to just accept it. There are simple changes you can make that will shock you in how much better you feel, and it all starts with what you're eating. In today's video, we're going to dive into something that could completely shock you: the foods that can help you feel stronger, more energetic, and even younger. We'll talk about the 5 foods seniors should be eating more of, and I'll also throw in a couple of surprises, 3 foods that you might want to avoid. Trust me, once you understand how certain foods can either help or hurt your health, you'll be shocked at the difference it makes. Let's get started by talking about the first food you should definitely be eating more of. You might already know how important protein is, but let me shock you a little here. As we get older, we actually need even more protein than we think. It's not just for athletes or bodybuilders. Getting enough protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, which tends to decrease as we age. If you don't keep your muscles strong, it can lead to some shocking consequences, like a decrease in balance, slower metabolism, and even more fatigue. But here's the good news: adding protein-rich foods into your meals can give you the strength and energy you need to keep moving, and it's easier than you might think. Eggs are one of the best sources of protein you can eat, and I'm going to shock you with how versatile they are. You don't have to be making fancy dishes to get their benefits. Scramble them, boil them, or make a quick omelet with some veggies. And here's the real kicker: eggs are also packed with other nutrients like vitamin D, which is critical as we age. As we get older, our bodies don't absorb vitamin D as efficiently, and without it, you could face weaker bones or even a weaker immune system. So yes, eggs are not only tasty but also incredibly good for you. But wait, let's take this up a notch. If eggs aren't your thing, there are plenty of other protein-rich options that can also shock you in how great they are for your health. Lean meats like chicken or turkey, fish, and even beans are all packed with protein that will keep you strong and energized. Fish, in particular, is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential for heart health. The shocking truth is that omega-3s can actually help reduce inflammation in your body, lowering your risk of diseases like arthritis or heart disease. Now that's something worth paying attention to. But protein isn't the only thing that should be on your plate. Let's talk about leafy greens. Now, I know what you're probably thinking: greens are good for me, but I'm not sure I can eat them every day. Let me shock you with something: leafy greens are packed with nutrients that go way beyond just being healthy. They're rich in vitamin K, which is crucial for maintaining bone health. If you want to avoid fractures or broken bones as you age, you'll want to make sure you're getting enough vitamin K, and you can get it from simple foods like spinach, kale, or collard greens. The shocking part? These greens not only help with bones, but they also support brain health and can even fight off inflammation. They're like a secret weapon for your body, and they're so easy to add to your meals. Imagine tossing a handful of spinach into your smoothie or adding kale to a salad or soup. You don't have to go all out, just sneak in some extra greens wherever you can. You'll be shocked at how much better you feel with these power-packed foods in your diet. Plus, they're low in calories, making them a great option if you're watching your weight. Let's not stop there. One more food you need to eat more of is nuts and seeds. These little guys might be small, but don't let their size fool you. They're packed with healthy fats, protein, and fiber. What's truly shocking about nuts like almonds, walnuts, or pistachios is that they can actually improve your brain function and protect against memory loss. You might have thought that memory loss was just a part of getting older, but in reality, adding nuts to your diet can help keep your brain sharp. Nuts are also great for heart health, reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. The secret lies in the healthy fats they contain, which can lower bad cholesterol levels and improve circulation. And here's another shocker: nuts and seeds can even help you get better sleep. They're rich in magnesium, which is known to support better sleep, reduce stress, and keep your bones healthy. Just imagine snacking on a handful of almonds before bed and waking up feeling more rested and energized. That's the kind of shock we're talking about. We've covered some shockingly good foods so far, protein-rich foods like eggs and fish, leafy greens, and those little powerhouses, nuts and seeds. And while these foods can do wonders for your health, there's also something important we need to talk about, foods you might want to cut back on or avoid altogether. But we'll get to that in just a bit, so stick with me. The best is yet to come. Now that we've covered some of the foods you should definitely be eating more of, let's talk about the other side of the coin, the foods you might want to avoid. It's shocking, but there are a few common foods that could be quietly undermining your health, leaving you feeling sluggish, weak, or even more prone to certain health conditions. The good news is, you don't have to completely cut them out, but being mindful of how often you consume them can make a huge difference. Let's take a look at the first one, processed foods. You know, the kind of foods that come in a box or a bag, often labeled as convenient or quick. It's so easy to grab a frozen meal or snack on chips and cookies when you're in a rush or don't feel like cooking. But here's the shocking truth, processed foods are packed with unhealthy fats, sodium, and added sugars, all of which can contribute to weight gain, high blood pressure, and increased risk of heart disease. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing these ingredients, which means they can have a bigger impact on our health than we realize. Now, I know it's hard to let go of the convenience of those foods, but here's the silver lining, you can make simple swaps. For example, instead of grabbing that prepackaged meal, why not try preparing a quick stir-fry with some fresh vegetables and lean protein? It's faster than you think, and it's so much better for your body. Or if you're craving a snack, swap those chips for some air-popped popcorn or a handful of nuts. Small changes like these can reduce your intake of processed foods and help you feel more energized and healthier. The second food group you might want to watch out for is sugary drinks. I'm talking about soda, sweetened teas, and even sugary fruit juices. It might shock you to hear this, but those sugary drinks are actually contributing to weight gain, inflammation, and a whole host of other issues like increased blood sugar levels and even a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. It's so tempting to reach for a sweetened drink when you're thirsty, but the reality is, these drinks are offering very little in terms of actual nutrition. Here's the shocker, if you cut back on sugary drinks, you'll likely see a huge improvement in your energy levels. You'll feel less sluggish, less bloated, and overall just more vibrant. Instead, try drinking water, herbal teas, or if you need something with a little more flavor, add a slice of lemon or cucumber to your water for a refreshing twist. You might be surprised at how satisfying these healthier options are, and they can make all the difference in how you feel day to day. Lastly, let's talk about something else that might surprise you, white bread and other refined grains. I know, it's easy to reach for that soft, fluffy white bread when making a sandwich, but here's the shocking truth, refined grains have been stripped of their nutrients and fiber, making them less filling and much more likely to spike your blood sugar. Over time, eating too many refined grains can contribute to weight gain and even lead to insulin resistance, which is a precursor to type 2 diabetes. Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up bread altogether, but making the switch to whole grains can be a game changer. Whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, and whole wheat bread are packed with fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling fuller longer. They're also much better for your digestive health, which is especially important as we age. So, the next time you're making a sandwich or serving up a side dish, reach for the whole grain option instead of the white stuff. It's a simple swap that can have a big impact on your health. So, we've talked about 3 foods to avoid: processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined grains. But it's not all about cutting things out. It's about finding balance and making smarter choices. And here's the shocking part, when you start making these changes, you'll likely feel more energetic, more clear-headed, and more capable of tackling whatever comes your way. It might not happen overnight, but as you adjust your diet and add more of the good stuff while cutting back on the not-so-good, you'll start to feel a difference. But remember, it's not about being perfect. We're all human, and sometimes it's okay to indulge every once in a while. What matters is creating a pattern of eating that supports your health and gives you the energy you need to enjoy life to the fullest. So, let's take a moment to look back at what we've learned so far. By eating more protein-rich foods like eggs, fish, and chicken, loading up on leafy greens, and snacking on nuts and seeds, you're already setting yourself up for better health. And by avoiding processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined grains, you'll be taking even more steps toward a healthier, more energetic life. Now, let's keep this momentum going, because in the next part, we'll dive even deeper into how small changes can add up to big results. You're already on the right path, and I'm excited to share more tips that can truly make a difference in how you feel each day. Stay tuned, there's more good stuff coming your way. Now that we've covered some key foods to add to your diet and a few to cut back on, let's dive into the final piece of the puzzle. We've discussed what foods to embrace and which ones to avoid, but here's the real shocker: even small changes to your diet can have a massive impact on your energy, your health, and even your happiness. The truth is, you don't need to make drastic overhauls all at once. Little, consistent tweaks can lead to big improvements, and that's what today's video is all about. So, let's talk about the last two foods that seniors should eat more of, foods that can truly enhance your health in ways you might not expect. The first one might surprise you: it's sweet potatoes. Now, you might be thinking, sweet potatoes? Aren't they just a healthier version of regular potatoes? Well, yes and no. While both types of potatoes are nutritious, sweet potatoes are packed with more fiber and vitamins, especially vitamin A, which is crucial for our health. And you may not know this, but as we age, our eyesight can begin to decline, and nutrient-rich foods like sweet potatoes can help support your vision, keeping those eyes sharp and healthy for longer. But that's not all. Sweet potatoes are also loaded with antioxidants, which can help combat inflammation. They contain a special type of antioxidant called beta-carotene, which not only supports your immune system but can also help with skin health. Let's face it, as we get older, our skin can start to show signs of wear, but eating foods like sweet potatoes can provide that extra boost your skin needs to stay smooth and glowing. You can roast them, mash them, or even throw them in a stew. Sweet potatoes are as versatile as they are healthy. I promise, once you start adding them into your meals, you'll be shocked at how delicious and beneficial they are. The next food on the list is something that might be even more surprising: avocados. I know, avocados have been all the rage for the last few years, but there's a reason for that. Avocados are loaded with healthy fats, specifically monounsaturated fats, which are heart-healthy and can help reduce bad cholesterol levels. This is especially important as we age, since the risk of heart disease tends to increase with age. But the benefits don't stop there. Avocados are also rich in potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure. With all of this in mind, adding avocados to your diet is a simple and delicious way to keep your heart healthy and your blood pressure in check. But here's another shocking fact: avocados can help improve your joint health. They contain compounds that have been shown to reduce inflammation in the body, which is great news for those dealing with joint pain or stiffness. As we get older, inflammation can lead to aches and pains, so eating anti-inflammatory foods like avocados can help keep your body feeling more comfortable and mobile. Whether you add avocado to a salad, spread it on toast, or just enjoy it with a sprinkle of salt and pepper, you'll be giving your body a tasty treat that's both satisfying and nutritious. So far, we've covered 5 key foods that seniors should eat more of: eggs, fish, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, sweet potatoes, and avocados. But before we wrap up, there's one more thing we need to address: the importance of balance. You've heard me talk about the foods that will fuel your body and give you more energy, but let's not forget that the way you eat is just as important as what you eat. That's why it's important to maintain balance in your meals, incorporating a variety of different food groups to get the full range of nutrients your body needs. For example, when you're making a meal, aim for a balance of protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbs. A plate that's filled with colorful vegetables, a healthy serving of protein, and a little bit of healthy fat, like avocado or olive oil, will give you the energy you need to keep going through the day. It's all about creating meals that nourish you from the inside out. And don't forget about hydration. Drinking enough water throughout the day is just as important as eating well. Dehydration can lead to fatigue and sluggishness, so make sure you're getting enough water, especially as we get older, since our bodies can become less efficient at signaling thirst. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small, focus on 1 or 2 changes at a time, and see how they make you feel. You'll be amazed at how these little tweaks can leave you feeling more energized, more focused, and even a little bit younger. The most important thing to remember is that health is a journey, not a destination. You don't have to be perfect every day. What matters is the consistency of your efforts and how those small, simple choices add up over time. It's all about living a life that makes you feel your best, whether that's playing with the grandkids, taking a walk in the park, or simply enjoying a day full of energy and vitality. So, here's to making those small changes that add up to big results. Whether you're adding more sweet potatoes to your meals, enjoying the goodness of avocado, or simply being mindful of how you balance your plate, you're setting yourself up for better health and a brighter future. Keep it up, and don't forget, your health is worth every effort you put into it. Here's to living your best life, at any age. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What changes have you made to your diet that have helped you feel better? Drop a comment below and share your experiences. I'd love to hear what's been working for you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and subscribe for more tips and inspiration on how to live a healthy, vibrant life. Thanks so much for watching, and here's to your health. I'm so glad you've stuck with me through this journey, because now, in this final stretch, I want to bring everything home. We've talked about the 5 foods that can do wonders for your energy, your strength, and even your mood. We've also uncovered the shocking truth about the 3 foods that might be quietly dragging your health down. But what really ties it all together, what really makes the difference, is understanding why these choices matter, and how they can transform not just your body, but your entire outlook on life. Let's start by talking about energy. One of the most common things I hear from folks over 60 is that their energy just isn't what it used to be. You wake up tired, your limbs feel heavy, and by midday, you're ready for a nap, not a walk, not a chat with friends, just a nap. And hey, there's nothing wrong with a good rest now and then. But if feeling tired has become your new normal, that's not normal. That's your body's way of saying, help me. Here's something that might shock you. Many of those dips in energy don't come from aging alone. They come from the food you're feeding your body. Or maybe, more accurately, from the food you're not feeding it. When you fill your plate with nutrient-rich foods, like the sweet potatoes and avocados we talked about, your body starts to function better. You process nutrients more efficiently. You sleep better. Your brain feels clearer. And suddenly, that heavy fog you thought was just part of getting older, it begins to lift. The food you choose is like fuel. You wouldn't put low-grade gas in a car you love, right? Especially if that car had gotten you through decades of life, memories, road trips, and hard work. So why would you put anything less than the best into your body? This is the only body you've got. And even if it's a little creaky or slower than it used to be, it deserves good care. You deserve good care. But let's also talk about joy. Because food isn't just about nutrients and vitamins, it's also about enjoyment. About flavor. About comfort. Food is deeply emotional, and I'd never ask you to give up the dishes you love. Instead, think about enhancing them. Maybe you grew up loving mashed potatoes, why not try mashed sweet potatoes with a touch of cinnamon? Or if you've always enjoyed a hearty sandwich, try one with whole grain bread, avocado, and grilled chicken. It's still satisfying. Still delicious. Just smarter. And if you've got a sweet tooth? I hear you. One of the biggest shocks to people trying to eat healthier is thinking they have to cut out all treats. You don't. You just have to be mindful. Maybe instead of that sugary store-bought dessert, you make a homemade fruit parfait with plain Greek yogurt and berries. You still get the sweet, the creamy, the comforting, but without the sugar crash afterward. That's the magic of this new way of eating. It's not a diet. It's not about deprivation. It's about empowerment. You're choosing foods that work with your body, not against it. Foods that support your heart, your joints, your brain, your energy. Foods that let you live the life you want, whether that means gardening, traveling, or simply feeling confident and capable every morning when you swing your legs out of bed. Now, let me say something directly to you, because this part matters most. You are not too old to change. You are not too far gone. It's not too late. I don't care if you've been eating fast food for the last 40 years, or if you've never picked up a sweet potato in your life. What matters is what you do next. Right now. This next meal, this next snack, this next grocery trip, you've got a chance to choose differently. And that choice can lead to real, powerful results. It might shock you just how quickly you notice a difference. Maybe your knees stop aching as much. Maybe you sleep through the night without tossing and turning. Maybe your blood pressure ticks down a few points, or your doctor raises an eyebrow and says, whatever you're doing, keep it up. These little victories? They're yours for the taking. And they stack up. Before you know it, you're not just managing your health, you're thriving. You're waking up with more purpose. You're smiling more. You're walking farther. You're living, not just existing. And that's what this has all been about. Giving you the tools, the insight, and the encouragement to take back control of your health, your food, and your future. Because aging doesn't mean giving up, it means leveling up. Getting wiser. Choosing smarter. And showing the world that yes, you can feel vibrant and strong and full of life at any age. So as we wrap up this video, I just want to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this step for yourself. You're not alone in this journey, and if you ever need a little push, a little reminder, or a fresh idea, you know where to find me. And hey, if this video helped you, inspired you, or even shocked you a little in a good way, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more real talk about living well, eating smart, and staying strong after 60. And don't forget to drop a comment below. What's one small change you're going to try this week? I'd love to hear about it, and I bet someone else reading the comments will be inspired by your story, too. Take care of yourself. Be kind to your body. You've got so much life ahead, and it starts with what's on your plate. Here's to health, happiness, and feeling your absolute best, no matter your age.